Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to talk about the 3 to 7 player game Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig, published by Stonemaier Games. This game takes about 45 to 60 minutes to play. We'll go down to the table here. I'm going to give you a general idea how the game plays and how easy it is for the flow of the game, and then we're going to come back and give you my final thoughts. Okay, so this is what initial setup of Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig might look like. So what you're going to do in the game is you're going to take these awesome inserts that are from game trays and place them out. Everything you need is ready for the game. You're going to now go through and grab these palace tiles, and you're going to shuffle them. And depending on your player count, you're going to put one to the left and right of each player. So it'll make a little circle around the board. So after you place this, and each of these little tiles is going to have a different scoring bonuses for the different types of rooms. After that's done, the game is just simply played over 2 rounds. You're going to put a castle in front of each of these. And the castles are all really neat wooden shapes that are all different, so that's nice. But they're really just for markers for your tiles. You're going to take out a stack of 9 of these tiles and place them in front of each of the castles. And what you're going to do through 2 rounds, you're going to go through 2 different stacks of these. So for the first round, what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at these tiles, and you're going to select 2 of them and pass this set of tiles over to the left and place the castle on top. Then once everyone has picked, you're going to take one of the 2 castles that you have, or one of the 2 tiles that you have, and place it to the castle to your right and the other one to your castle to the left. You can interact with the other player at the time to decide how you're going to place, but if there's ever any going to be any arguments over what happens, the oldest player gets to decide who places the tile first. So you'll place these tiles. I'm going to bring this over here. You can see you're going to place these tiles on the board, on the castles, and what your goal is you want to get the most points possible on each castle, but the castle that has the lowest score at the end of the game will be your score. So you have this really handy sheet, and you're going to score up each of the types in here, and that's how you're going to do that. It's really nice how it breaks it all up, and each of the rooms itself states on the bottom how they score. When you build 3 rooms, 3 to 5 rooms, when that actually happens, you'll look at this chart and these different bonuses will occur in the game. So a lot of time you're going to try to pay attention to that while you're playing the game. There are some placement rules with some of the rooms, and they can be shown here, like sleeping, like for example, outdoor rooms. So if you're going to do outdoor rooms, like these guys, right? So if I have one in here, yeah. So if I pick an outdoor room, that can be placed adjacent to another room, but no rooms can be placed on top of it. Another indoor room can be placed beside it. That's fine, but outdoor rooms are the way they are. And once you place out 3 outdoor rooms, you actually get a fountain, which is in here. So there's a lot more little nuancy things, and there's a lot more things for scoring on the rooms, but in general, you'll keep drafting these tiles until you have 1 left. Once you have 1 left and you've placed out those tiles, you're going to discard the single tile, draw another stack of 9 for your second round, and repeat. Once that's done, the game's over. You're going to score up all the different rooms and go from there. Now like I said, I'm just giving you a general idea how you play the game. The most of the game is in the different scorings that you can get for each of the room types. So you'll be referring to this really nice player sheet throughout the game for how you score. Like, for example, the food room here, if you see it has a little black dot above and below, that's what it looks for scoring 2 points per. So it'll say something on there, and those rooms need to be above or below it. This one here, it gets 1 point per some type of room, whichever it says on the tile. And those are just any of them that are horizontally or diagonally or vertically adjacent to that tile. So it's really easy to see how each of the rooms score on this sheet, so you'll be paying attention to that. It's really nice and condensed. And the only other thing is, like the utility rooms, once you place 3 of them out, you'll actually get these bonus cards. So the bonus cards change a little bit of how you're going to score on here, because you can take a look at these guys, pick one of them, and use it, or hide it, but you're going to actually use that as additional scoring throughout the game. So that's nice. So that's basically, like I said, how you're going to play it. There's a lot more in, like if you look this one, so you look, this one's per connected wine or food room, and this is 1 per sleeping room that's beside it. They have to be above the quiet room. There's a couple other similar placement rules for some of these, but like I said, they're pretty easy to get down. And I just wanted to give you an idea of how the game flows. So the game is just basically flowing as a drafting game. You're going to quickly grab 2 tiles. Like I said, you're going to have to place one on your left and your right. In the second round, when I said in the first round, I said you're going to be passing the tiles to your left. In the second round, you pass them to your right. So again, this isn't rules or anything. Hopefully this just gives you an idea of how the game plays. And I'm going to just go up top now and give you my final thoughts on Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Okay, so hopefully you got a general idea of how the game flows in Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig. In essence, it's just a tile drafting game where you're building 2 different castles on either side of you. Throughout the game, you're paying attention to the overall value, or trying to, of each castle, and like I said, the lowest valued castle is your score at the end of the game. So this game is really nice because it functions really well at high player counts, in the same manner that Seven Wonders did. Seven Wonders, really you only paid attention to your neighbors. This game you really only pay attention to your neighbors. It really functions and flows well in high player counts, same as Between Two Castles. So Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig has some unique components in the way that you have to cooperatively deal with the castles. So instead of you having your own sort of thing going, like in Between Two Castles, you have a shared castle on each side, and you have to work somewhat with your neighbor on room placement, because their room placement can screw up your math for what you want to try to score in the castle. So I do like the player interaction that you get from that, and I do really like how, and I wanted just to really show how simple the game was. You can go over each tile type and how they function, and you should for your game play, which I didn't go over, but just let people know and not get overwhelmed with the amount that's on there, and really realize that they have a really good reference sheet that summarizes basically what you're going to go over for your teach for the game. So with that said, it's really easy to get people into. There's not a whole lot here to get hung up on in the game. So I highly recommend it for that part if you're looking for a large group count game and you maybe have used Seven Wonders in the past, or Between Two Castles, or other games like that. This is a game you probably want to look into as another game that is a good option for that high player count. The component quality also on the game is amazing. Like almost all Stone and Iron games, they have really nice insert in there that from Game Trace. It's really cool on how when you put it out there, it actually functions as the player tray for the whole group. So it's great that the thing that you clean up with and store it in is the same thing that you can use. Just place it out and ready to go. So setup for the game is amazingly simple and easy, which I love, because there's nothing worse than having to spend an hour setting up a game before game night. This one, you just plop it out, you're ready to go. Tile quality is great. I always like those linen rule books that the Stonemaier games have been coming with. Those are really nice. It's just silly, but it's nice. It's nice. So code quality is great. It's very high quality that you come to expect from Stonemaier games. So that's not an issue in the game. The only slight issue I have in the game is I think that it might be a little too simplistic of a game for myself. Now, the argument for that would be that in lower player counts, you may want to think about something else. This game is really nice for high player count games. Although it does perfectly function well at 3 players, it's perfectly fine. It's just a really nice game for being able to have huge player counts and have a complete in a reasonable amount of time. And my argument, or my only critique on the game, isn't really that drastic. I will still play this at 3 players. I just wish there was a little bit more. And then mainly that comes from Castles of Mad King Ludwig. I really wanted to see the auction mechanic that I loved from that game maybe show up in this one, but it probably wouldn't have worked out. But that's just in my head from the combination of the 2 games, what I expected. But like I said, this is a great game. It's very easy to teach. It's very fluid in its play. You're only going through 2 rounds. It does go really fast. Actually, one of the few games that I think is actually closer to the 45 mark in the gameplay. So it's nice in that it's quick. So you can get through multiple games of this. All you gotta do is shuffle those tiles back up, put them back in the tray, and go again. So that's my thoughts on Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Thank you for watching.